Wow. Hello! Good morning and afternoon and evening. It's Dee Dee. How's it going? Hello, everyone. I saw Butter earlier. Hello. Happy. I had to think for a second. Happy Wednesday. Because, when you have a random day off in the middle of the week, kind of throws everything out of whack. Plus, I had a nap after my crash out about there being no Tales of news in the Bandai Namco summer stream. I'm like, oh god, what time is it? What year is it? I haven't mistaken it for 1986 yet, so that's fine. That's okay. There's hope. There's hope in this world. What else happened today? I'm trying to think. Oh, Hokai Star Rail update. Oh boy. I got Finon. Finon? Potato. I never know how to pronounce the names because I play in Japanese and the Japanese phonetics might not be how it naturally is in English. But oh my god, the story. What do you mean this is just 3.4? Morpheus is just frickin' suffering. Really? Really cool, cinematic at the end of the story update, though. With like a full-on, song. Sounds like it should be in, Devil May Cry. Hello, Butter! I hope you're doing well. Excuse me. I broke my rule about not having dairy before stream, but I was like, I don't have anything else in the house that's ready to eat right now except for cereal. So here we are. Let's see. Hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, pretty good. I talked briefly about my disappointment with the Bandai Namco stream. They were announcing a bunch of stuff, which is nice. It's fine. There was some cool stuff there, the new Super Robot, Little Nightmares 3. But I was under the mistaken impression that we were gonna get Tales of news, because we're supposed to get the next announcement for the next Tales of game sometime this summer. So, I mean, probably was a naturalish assumption, and mistakes were made. No head pats? Yeah, I mean, it's the chibi model. I need to set everything up. I do appreciate the head pad, though. The way the head pad works is it's tied to the specific model. So 95% of the time it works, but since I have the chibi one today, I forgot to bind the hand to the small cat. There's all this stuff behind the scenes that that A, you never think of, or B, you forget about because you said it so long ago. It's oh, that's right. I need to do all these extra steps to make the hand reach out and pat. Oh, and yeah, there's. My brain's just remembering all the steps now. Steps 1 through 12. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's not steps 1 through 12, but sometimes it can feel that way. Excuse me, let me have some of my drink. It's 7 p.m. I'm trying not to have caffeine after lunch, but considering I woke up early today. I had there was a lot of stuff going on today, and then I wasn't able to like have a nap to make up for the fact that I didn't get enough sleep. I'm like, all right, we break out the caffeine. Shin-getter? Oh my god, Shin-getter Robo? I say as though there's another Shin-getter. But yes, that's cool, that's cool. God. Watching the trailer for the new Super Robo stuff was interesting. And by that I just mean, like, there's always been a little bit of whiplash when you see all the different characters from the different mecha franchises interacting. But in the trailer, Yume from... Oh my god. Why am I blanking? Oh! My brain is not working. Gridman! My brain kept saying Jumpman, and I'm like, no, that's Mario. Yes, Yume from, was it the second season of Gridman? She showed up and then for 1 second, and then immediately after we had Duo Maxwell from, Gundam Wing, and I'm like, first of all, it's been like, what, Gundam Wing was 1994? It's like 30 years since Duo Maxwell was first introduced as a character, and it just threw me off to suddenly see him. I'm like, oh, hey buddy. But right after, like, oh yeah, here's Duo Maxwell, orphan, war criminal at 14 years old, and there's Yume, schoolgirl. Like, ah. Tis the nature of those kinds of crossover games, but yeah, it just kind of threw me for a loop for a second. And I was only half paying attention, but I think Godzilla showed up at the end. I don't know what that's about. There are so many things. So many things in this world. The mysteries. I'm trying to think. What else was there in the Bandai Namco stream that I was looking forward to? Little Nightmares 3. I haven't streamed Little Nightmares 1 or 2, but I did enjoy them. 1 more so than 2. 2, like, the ending was kind of like, I'm gonna need like a year to process this. Be interesting to see how 3 goes. Will we... Oh, what was the girl in the first one? 7? Was she 7? I can't remember. Be interesting to see if we get a continuation of what was going on with her. Hello, howdy. There's like the Code Vein, the next Code Vein they were talking about. That seems interesting. I haven't streamed the other Code Veins, but I'm pretty sure I have them in my Steam account. Yeah. I don't know if it was like a sequel or like DLC. Where I was like, oh shit. Yes, I do indeed have Code Vein. That's cool. a sequel? I thought so. I thought so. Nice. Well, if you want it, it is 85% off right now. It is $11. Damn. I got it at some point ages ago. Or it was gifted to me. I can't remember. But did I play God Eater? Do I have to? I haven't even played the first Code Vein yet, to be clear. I have it in my, I have it in my Steam account, but I haven't actually. Code Vein borrows elements from God Eater. Oh! God Eater's a whole separate thing. I thought that was like DLC or something. We love Tokyo Ghoul coded? I mean, I also love Tokyo Ghoul. I will always stand up for my war crimes waifu Uta. Just like the prequels, then that's fine. then I'm only missing out on some like branching off connecting content. Cause like technically Fire Force and Soul Eater, the mangas take place in the same universe, but they're like not connected at all, so. Yeah, I didn't finish the Tokyo Ghoul manga. I fell off some point during Tokyo Ghoul 3. But I did really love the first series. And I need to, I just like Sensei's art as well. They did the art for a visual novel. What was it? Jack Jean? I think it is. I keep meaning to play that one. I saw it in the wild at like a local game store and I was like, oh. Sequel has been announced for Jack Jean. Ooh. Alright. Time to get on board. So many visual novels, so many times, so little time, so many times, so little time. Da, 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 da. How's my week been so far? It's pretty good so far. I mean, other than the Tales of, no Tales of in the Bandai Namco stream. Cause what was it? Yesterday was Canada Day, so I took the day. Well, I did take the day off. I was given the day off because there was not. I loaded up that stream 15 minutes before it started and I sat through the whole damn thing. I didn't even go to the bathroom out of fear that I would somehow miss it. It was nothing. The Tales of Studio did like say the next remaster was gonna be announced this summer, so I think like, you know, we just all kind of assumed it was gonna be at this stream. Nah. Pain and suffering. When's the Tokyo Game Show? They usually do JRPG news at that. I can't remember. Did it already pass? I don't think it was. I hope it's Abyss. They did say, someone did say that in Japan they updated the trademark for Abyss back in January. But that just means it's coming. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the one that they announced this year, you know? Like, it would make sense, but like, it's not just because they renew the trademark doesn't mean it's 100% guarantee that, you know, you're gonna get the game within a year or whatever. Oh, spooky! Hello! Spooky, 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 spooky. Hello. Welcome in! You were streaming games and demos. Ooh, hello. What were you guys doing specifically in games and demos? Are there anything that you guys would recommend? Coincidentally, we were just talking about the Bandai Namco stream and like upcoming games from that. That might be interesting. Oh, Deltarune! Gotcha. You just weren't doing the category. Gotcha. That makes sense. You did say you avoid that category because you had some bad times. Understandable. Goodness, I still need to finish chapter 2. We got really close, like we just have to go home at the end of chapter 2, but it was already late and I'm like, okay, we'll come back next time and we'll do chapter 3 at the same time. Anyway, hello Spooky and Floofs. If by chance you have never been here, hello. I'm Diana/Dee. I am an apothecarist. I am Onesan, comfy streamer type. Right now, I'm in my chippity gremlin phase. Felt like a change, and you know, everyone's getting chippy models, and I'm like, I want one too. So here we are. If anyone, you missed me. Heart, I missed you too. I'm always a DM away, but I know what you mean. Sometimes it's hard to just pop into people's DMs when you have nothing to do but go like, poke. Hello. You're alive. I'm alive and I was thinking of you. I hope you're alive too. Yeah, if anyone from Spooky's community has got a jive, like you gotta run, completely understandable. I know, like, especially since Spooky's in Europe, it's later for you guys if you gotta go eat beast. Totally get it. If not, I hope you stick around. We will be playing UMINEKO shortly, and I mean, I am famous for lulling people to sleep during streams. Not out of boredom, just the comfy vibes are that strong. You just get hit with the sleepy time spell, and then boink. After work in a few hours, so you'll go sleep? Understandable, sweetie. I hope you have a good rest then, and you get some, like, you know, good quality sleep. I will look after any floofs who want to hang out here. And we will see you around. Da, 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 da. Oh, shush. My phone started vibrating. I'm like, who? Just random notifications. Usually I put my phone far away when I stream so I don't get distracted. Now it's far away. Now we're good. Alright, where is Diana? Zaxu? Yes. Hello. Nothing? Oh, Mike did pick it up. Gotcha. I think I leaned too far away. Yeah, I just think I leaned too far away. Hello. Basically all I was saying was it's like, oops, I usually put my phone much farther away from me when, oh, met the phone vibrations. Gotcha. Fair enough. No worries, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I keep my phone on silent, but I get very easily distracted, you know, like the squirrel. So I try and keep that stuff as far away from me as I can, because, oh my god. It was ages ago, but last time it happened, randomly, I had my phone in front of me, and I got a notification that, like, you know, a VTuber I follow was graduating, and it just completely derailed me. Okay, lesson learned. We keep the phone away when the stream is live. I thought I was disciplined enough. No. I got hit with the emotional damage. There was no coming back. All right. Gonna get UMINEKO started in the other scene, so bear with me uno momento while I get that going. So, for those who weren't here for other streams, we are decently early on in Chapter 2. Chapter 2 starts with some extra background stuff. We explore the relationship with George and Shannon a bit, and Jessica and Kanon, and basically, you know, the crash outs of the century. Because, like, you know, Shannon's like, oh yeah, I got this charm from Beatrice, and it fixed my love life. You can have it now, Kanon. And Kanon's like, we're furniture, we don't need this. And he literally tells Jessica, he's like, sorry, I appreciate that you think of me as human, but I'm not human. So, please don't love me. It's like being in love with your dresser. Hi, Zan! Good evening! Plus, George was totally into her. I stalled an over-oven microwave. Congratulations, you leveled up as an adult. God, my apartment also has an over-oven microwave, but it was already there beforehand, but I'm like, it's one of those things, it's like, man, what happens when this thing finally breaks? I'm like, how do I clean this? Like, how do I, like, I mean, I do clean it, and, like, you can clean it to some extent, and you don't technically need to ever take it down except to replace it, but I'm like, how do I do this stuff? You chose the easy mode and bought the same brand. I mean, that is literally the best way to go about it. I mean, because, yeah, the only reason to not go with the same brand is A, you're like, I have since had bad experiences with this brand, and I no longer want to use any of their products, but, you know, oven's expensive, so I'm not gonna buy a whole new oven just because of that. Or, you know, like, you got their appliance so long ago that, like, you can no longer find a microwave from the same brand that is compatible. So you're like, well, I might as well just go with, like, the cheapest one or whatever then. 15 years! Oh my goodness! Oh, you really need that popcorn hotkey. Ah, yes. They say you're not supposed to use the popcorn button anyway. Back when appliances used to last, like, you know, decades. Power, energy saving and or safety aside. sometimes stuff still does last that long, but then other times you're like, yeah, I bought this washer and dryer, it lasted 2 years. And you're like, what? What happened? Like, why did it break? I don't know, it just stopped. And I got the service people in, they're like, yeah, there's nothing we could do. Some very long videos on about the popcorn buttons. Ah, yes, the controversial popcorn button. Because it even says on the packaging for microwave popcorn, it's like, don't use the popcorn button. Follow our instructions. And like, yeah, it definitely depends. I have used the popcorn button and like, you know, I'd say like 25% of the bag popped. And then like other times I've used the popcorn button and like, you know, shit got burned. So it's like, didn't know it was a whole thing? Yeah. Well, because I mean, different brands, different kernels, there's different factors that could influence how the popcorn kernels pop. But the microwave, like, you know, the popcorn microwave button just goes like, we assume you need this amount of time at this amount of heat to pop any bag of popcorn. You have to adjust if that's not sufficient, you know? Meanwhile, do they still have it? Actually, I think Papa Mellis does still have it. We have an ancient-ass, popcorn, like, air popcorn popper. Like, I would have, like, I'm pretty sure last time I was over, he made me popcorn, and it was the same popcorn maker. I would have to set my eyes on it to be 100% sure. But when I say ancient, I mean that thing has been around since I was a little kid. Like, I used to be terrified of that thing because it's like, you start it up and it goes... And like, you know, when you're just like a little kid and it's like, ah, that's scary. Nice. It was very easy to have an after-school snack. You just plug it in and, you know, you measure out the kernels, you pour it in, you just put the bowl underneath. Sometimes, you know, the popcorn kernels come flying out in weird directions. My childhood dog was on standby because he's like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the freebies. It's like, fair enough. It's like, yeah, Snowy, those are all yours. Have at it. The good ones have sensors that measure the humidity. Damn. That's too fancy for me. That's too fancy. Now, the only issue I have with over-the-oven microwaves is you have to use the built-in fan to help vent any smoke or steam or whatever when you're cooking. And sometimes, depending on your kitchen, it's not gonna be adequate. So you just gotta, like, you know, keep in mind because it's not as efficient at sucking up the air as, like, you know, a traditional oven hood. Hi, Jambola! Because, yeah, my kitchen is like a galley kitchen. So it's quite narrow. So, like, steam or smoke will build up very quickly. So, like, you know, I've had, the smoke alarm is right outside the door, like, the entryway to the kitchen. So, you know, it's like, sure, like, a little bit of smoke build up, but, like, not enough that in, like, a big open kitchen, anyone would even blink an eye at. Meanwhile, I have to open every door and window to get to, like, vent this tiny amount of smoke. So like yeah, the microwave fan can help, but it's like I had to learn like what setting was the best with it, which is basically just put it on high. And then also like, yeah, you don't think you it's like, I probably don't need to turn on the fan, but I probably should anyway. Like if you're like, should I turn on the fan? If you got an over oven microwave and a small kitchen, yes, just turn on the fan. From shower steam. Oh my god, that is just... Yeah, that is like oversensitive. I know heat, some of them will react to heat. So like just like too much heat will set it off. So maybe if it was too close to the shower and it was a hot shower, it sensed the heat building up in the bathroom? I don't know. But yeah, it's like now it's like the air conditioner in the living room is close to the other entrance to the galley kitchen. I'm like, the air conditioner is our fan for cooking. It sucks in the air much better than the microwave. Pressure-based? Oh, man. But yeah, some of them are just so sensitive. Some of my not co-workers, sorry. Some of my neighbors are quite elderly. And so I had no idea if it's because they were elderly or just, smoke alarms oversensitive, but for a while, there was like someone kept setting off their smoke alarm once a day. And I was like, you're kind of making me really anxious. If that's like, an elderly person who keeps like burning stuff because like they're leaving their stove unattended. But yeah. Amadis, good evening. Alright, let us hop over. Let's see. Does the application audio work yet? Worried about a cried wolf situation? Well, sorta, because I mean, this was before I started streaming, but I had a neighbor and they were an elderly neighbor. They left a spatula on the stove, and it burnt, and it started a fire, like, literally right next door. Like, to me. And I mean, like, literally, like, like, I don't know how the firefighters got there, like, in time, or, like, by in time, I mean, I heard no sign of smoke or whatever. But, like, they were already there, and they set off the smoke alarm, and then, like, they were literally, like, pounding on my door. It's just like, you need to leave right now. I'm like, okay. And, like, I shut the door for a second to get my shoes. And they started pounding on the door again. They're like, we mean right now? I'm like, yeah, I get it. Let me grab my keys. I'm like, Jesus. So because of that, I was like, oh, shit. I'm kind of anxious. So when all your neighbors around you are, like, 70 plus years old, and someone keeps setting off the smoke alarm every day after you've already had like an actual fire happen right next to you, it's kind of like, I'm a little anxious. School fire drills make people numb to the fear for the most part, yeah. And I mean, that's the power of being prepared. All right. There we go. We should have sound now. So yes, poor Jessica, poor Shannon, especially poor Jessica, because you know her crush, it went horribly wrong. He's like, I'm furniture. I can't love you. I'm sorry. It's like, thanks. You're so wonderful. Panic probably kills more people than the fire. Yeah, very true. And let me see here. Where is chat? And yeah, so we got to the point where Fish. So yeah, we finally made it back to Rokenjima in the story. Ooh. We got new fish. Hang on, where's the fish? I'll bring it down a little bit. Resize. There we go. Hopefully that's okay now. But yeah, so we're back on Rokenjima, but we had a wonderful time where we got to watch Rosa beat the shit out of Maria on public transportation multiple times. Because she crashed out because, you know, Maria wanted a marshmallow, and Rosa's like, this is all your fault. But, well, really, if you roll all the way back, it's because they're running late because she took too much time picking Maria's clothes for this trip. And just, yeah. That scene is so upsetting. That was, yeah, like, literally. Like, slapping the heck out of your child in public on the train, like, whoa. Like, yes, please do not hit your child anyway. But if, like, you know, what you choose to do to discipline your child behind closed doors, no one can technically interfere with unless, you know, it is, like, someone calls the police kind of thing. Then reinforcing the a bad witch did it, not me. Yeah. Like, that doesn't help with Maria's obsession and fascination with the witches. Because literally, she's like, oh yeah, my mother just keeps getting possessed. And I mean, no wonder she's, like, studying up on ways to prevent, like, block out magic. She's trying to, like, keep her mother from getting possessed. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, instead of, you know, being like, okay, I'm upset, you're upset, we need to go calm down, and, you know, getting out of her seat and going to the bathroom on the train, because I'm assuming there's a bathroom on the train. And, like, you know, holding yourself up in there until you both calm down. Or, you know, when you get off at the station, like, finding a place to go calm down. Just no. Keeps hitting her child. And then the station attendant comes over and he's like, what's happening? And then Rosa's like, how dare you interfere, with, like, my disciplining my child. It's like, you've been beating the shit out of this child for 20 minutes on a station platform. You're lucky no one called the cops, like, first and foremost, and just got, like, got staff. But yeah, at some point, yeah, last time we were playing, I speculated that. I was like, you know, we don't really know what's going on with this family and all this stuff, but considering how hard, like, Rosa, like, goes between the extremes, and then Kinzo also does, I'm like, this family needs therapy and potentially, medication and diagnosis for, depression, because depression can make you have those mood swings as well as, like, you know, things like bipolar disorder, and bipolar disorder can be hereditary. So if Kinzo's bipolar, Rosa could be as well, and I'm like, oh my god. Just, yeah, like, great, wonderful. And, like, I had to shake my head sometimes, because it's like, you know, there's people... This is getting, like, kind of, like, deep and dark, but it's like, you know, there's so many people in the world who would probably make really good parents, and then either because of finances or fertility issues, they can't actually conceive. And meanwhile, you've got Rosa. And I'm like, damn. Some people really do not deserve their children. So terrible. What a world we live in. But maybe Rosa gets a redemption arc this chapter. We will find out. Last time she died like on the first night, basically, so we didn't see much else from her. So maybe this time that won't happen, because in chapter 1, it was implied that the reason Natsuki lived was because she put the charm from Jessica on the doorknob, and the charm was something she got from Maria that prevents the use of magic, basically. So Natsuki couldn't be sacrificed. So, like, I'm assuming they got Rosa instead. Or maybe Shannon or someone. So maybe if Beatrice can get to Natsuki this time, Rosa will be spared. We'll find out. Oh, whoops. My bad, hold on. I didn't mean to... I accidentally clicked start chapter 2 instead of load. Hold on. We need to go back. Shannon's outfit is very, very cute, though. I really loved the outfit Kanon had for the school festival, too. Okay, there we go. Episode 2, episode 2. There we go. Oh, milady! What are you doing in such a place? Right, scene ended with, Kraus and Natsuki talking about, the financial situation, and then it bridged over to the start of this scene. Nothing else has happened. Literally, I guess Jessica's just here glaring daggers at the portrait. Madame was looking for you. I'm here because I don't want to be found. Anyway, I'm sure she just wants to scold me like, is your appearance alright? And watch your language. Ho ho ho. Without a doubt. You know, when the day of the family conference comes, I always start thinking about this witch for some reason. Oh? And why might that be? The family conference is the day when everyone related to grandfather gathers. I hear that this time even Badler's gonna be coming after 6 years. What if, just like that, some relative who hasn't shown themselves for several decades suddenly shows up? That's what I'm always thinking about. Ho ho, could a relative like that exist? I mean, Beatrice-sama. Nobody knows her background. Could she be grandfather's mistress from long ago? Grandmother's mistress? It must be so strange to have this portrait of an unknown woman hanging out in your family home. Literally! I mean, like, it'd be one thing if it was just, you know, random artwork. Like, you know, it's like, oh, like, grandfather just really liked this painting and purchased it to decorate the parlor or whatever. But no, it's the fact that she's supposed to be someone incredibly important to him and the family. But, like, yeah, no one knows her. It's like, oh, well, okay. Oh, she's the one who gave Grandma Grandpa tons of gold. Yeah, it's not like, you know, he bought the Mona Lisa and it's like, oh yes, this is a famous artwork. And I purchased it because I love it. And now, like, you know, it resides in my family home. Nah, he's just like, I was obsessed with this woman. So I got multiple portraits painted of her. Kraus-sama and the others will probably discuss the Master's inheritance problem this year, too. Once they get so fired up talking about the witch's gold, one could hardly be surprised if the witch herself were to show up, yes? Kumasawa-san, I guess you keep quitting and getting rehired, but you've been here as long as Genji-san, right? Wait, hold on! That's new lore about, Kumasawa. She keeps quitting and then she just keeps crawling back. That's wild. Dear family, it's time for you to learn where I got my business acumen. Anyway, this magical woman showed up one day and she gave me a bunch of ingots. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I summoned her. And, like, you know, and we made a deal. I sold my soul to the devil. You know more about Beatrice, don't you? Who knows? Oh. Even if I try to remember, this old woman here can't even recall what she had for breakfast this morning. Then you really should probably retire and, I don't know if you have children of your own, but if you don't, maybe you should go to a retirement home. If you can't remember what you had for breakfast that morning. Because, I mean, we've all made jokes about it's like, damn, my memory's so bad I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But if you legitimately can't, like you got no idea, that's not good. She should not be in the kitchen cooking and with, like, you know, gas and stuff. Kumasawa-san, you're always dodging with those excuses, but you know something, right? Sometimes you feel kind of devious, like you know something, and you're laughing behind our backs. Oh, that's harsh. I don't have any secrets. The only thing I can say is that Beatrice-sama is the Golden Witch, and that she is the other master who controls the night of this island. Okay, now you're just repeating stuff Grandfather said. It must be a pain to play along with Grandfather's crap even though you get paid for it. However, I can say this much. What? In ancient times, Rokenjima was feared and called Azukishima. Uh-huh. Red Bean Island? I mean, the key could be spelled with the kanji for demon. I don't know about the Azu part. Ah, evil appetite. I see. That makes sense then. The Azuki is said to be a corrupted form of Akujiki, and in fact, it was called Akujikishima. So yeah, Aku would be darkness. That is what is told among the fishermen. I've heard about that before. Supposedly there's lots of sunken rocks and shipwrecks around here, so the fishermen got scared and stayed away whenever they could, right? Evil spirits settled down in Akujikishima and have continually eaten the souls of people since ancient times. And you know, I've just been here for 70 years. Whatever. Quite a few people lost their lives because of this island. And about 16 more are going to today. And then that monk, the traveling Shugenja or whatever, built that shrine, reposed the souls, and settled them there, right? Sounds pretty crazy, though. And that shrine for the repose of souls was destroyed by an eerie violent thunderbolt this summer, which tore up the darkness of the night. Ooh, purple thunder. Very, very frightening. Hey, Beatrice! Beatrice! Beatrice, do. Kumasawa-san, you really like those stories. Okay, sure, it'd be pretty creepy if a thunderbolt took out a shrine. But, well, it was all worn out from the start. Maybe it just got washed away by some big wave. The evil spirits of Akujiki-shima woke from their slumber and summoned Beatrice-sama. If Beatrice-sama happens to pay a visit to the family conference. If she does... Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so that gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica plenty scared with her silence, she grinned broadly. Well now, I wonder what would happen. Ho, 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 ho. I like how she has this serious face, yeah. Oh my god, it's a landline! That's crazy! We used to have those at the apothecary even just a couple years ago, but yeah. You don't see them that much in the wild anymore. Whoa, that sounds great! Of course, an ancient artifact. Especially with all of, like, the buttons to, like, you know, transfer to different extensions and stuff. Of course, won't you be able to do better at work if you get a chance to enrich your heart by living the good life every once in a while? Yup. Can't live right unless both your wallet and heart are enriched after all. Like uranium. Thank you for the hydrate! Alright, I'll have a sip. Sure, I'll keep that day open. Go ahead and make reservations. Oh, yes, LA Noire. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was before, I think there were phone numbers, but very rudimentary ones. I can't remember, but it's like, yeah. Have you ever seen the images of the huge switchboards? Like, from back in the day, where, like, you had to manually, like, pull out one cable and plug it into another? Call 35. Yeah. Like, super rudimentary numbers. And so, yeah, as an operator, you would need to know, like, basically every business, every, like, house. Operators? Yeah. Because there used to be photos of, like, you would see the of, like, what it was like to be an operator, and, like, it was just a bunch of women sitting in front of, like, this big bank of, plugs, and, like, you know, they'd get a call in, and it's like, hey, connect me to so-and-so. It's like, okay, connecting you now, and it's like, you know, they pull out one cable, and, like, they stick it in another one. And that's how they would, like, connect the phones. Operators were still around. Never fully understood, but only saw people on TV shows saying, operator, get me blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Operators were still sort of a thing in the 90s. Like, you used to be able to, like, if you had a payphone, you would push 0. And you could get the operator. The operator was more so if you didn't know the phone number or something, or you were trying to call collect. Which, for those of you who don't know, it's like, okay, like, say you're stuck somewhere. And it's like, oh my god, like, I need to call mom to come give me a ride because, like, I missed the last bus or something. But you didn't have enough change, then you could connect to the operator and ask, it's like, can you, I want to call this number collect. And then they're like, okay. And then they call that number. They're like, oh yeah, like, so-and-so wants to call you collect, do you accept the charges? And if, like, your mom's like, yeah, I accept the charges, and then, like, the call connects through. Like, that was what operators were basically for, once, like, everyone had phone numbers and stuff. I saw it on The Simpsons. Yeah. I never had to use an operator, but I was taught how to use them. Because, like, you might need it in case of emergency, but yeah, once, like, cell phones became a thing, that was no longer really necessary. Now, like, now the closest we get to operators would be, like, the people working at, like, call centers and stuff like that. Don't even think of missing it. Yeah, I'm counting on you. I love you, Kirie. Damn, he says I love you. That's crazy. After kissing the receiver, Rudolph hung up? What? Never did consider this guy to be a romantic. Never thought about that. Before his seat, there were several executives. There's enough of a divide here for history lessons. He's such a playboy in his mid to late 40s. Yeah. I would say early 40s, depending how old he was when Battler was born. Because if Battler's 16 and he had Battler at 20, he'd be 36. So if he was 25, then, he'd be like 41-ish, so. Before his seat, there were several executives with their sleeves rolled up, eagerly awaiting the end of that phone call. Sorry to keep you waiting. Have we heard anything from the States yet? The United States of America! I guess Rudolph is play-acting the role of a loving husband if he's being observed. Or he's just, what's the word I'm looking for? He's making them squirm by making them wait, and this way he might have some more power in negotiations. Hard to know. Yes, you have a call from Dale Watanabe, the lawyer. Dale Watanabe. I'll transfer it. On the whole, how's it going? Well, there does seem to be one unfortunate matter. It appears the other party has no intentions of withdrawing from the trial. Guess there's no fooling them. Please transfer it here. Understood. I'll do that right away. The executive ordered that the external line be transferred to the secretarial office. At once, the phone in front of Rudolph rang. Hey there. Hello. Sorry for the wait. Ushido Miya speaking. Oh, suddenly, just... I guess if it's in, the triangle brackets, he's speaking English. Thanks. How's it going on your end? Hello, President Ushido Miya. Let's skip the pleasantries and jump into the main issue. I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like first? Might as well start with the bad. I hate fighting when there's no dessert. Very well. The bad news is that the other party is getting ready to prosecute. Just a few days ago, a similar trial resulted in a decision in favor of the plaintiff. The defendants were using roughly the same arguments we plan to use, but they were rejected in every case. I forgot that the Ushido Miya children are, like, extremely wealthy themselves. Yeah, I mean, they borrowed Papa's money, but between his advice and their own business acumen, they were able to turn that investment into profit and, like, run their own businesses. So it's like, yeah, like, to some extent, it is their parents' money. But on the other hand, they did grow it themselves. I'm afraid to say it, but if we face the courtroom as we are now, it's extremely likely that each of our claims will get rejected. So that trial ended up being a total bust after all. And I thought their position was even more solid than ours. That hurts. Okay, what about the good news? I managed to contact the executives of the other party. I explained the situation we're in, told them we have no intention of tarnishing their brand's image, and managed to get an understanding. They'll send us their terms over the next few days, and if these are carried out, they promise to withdraw their charges. This is their proposal according to the number 2 man on their board of directors. Your impression? To be honest, I expect their terms will be extremely severe. We estimate that changing the company name and the brand name will be inevitable. I'm sorry? The copyright infringement is so severe that they're gonna have to change the name of the company. I think we'll be able to earn some leeway by playing with the amount of settlement money, making a public apology in the major newspaper, and carrying all this out within a reasonable amount of time. They sure are making this complicated when they could just tell us to go broke. They only recently switched to a new president, and their groundwork hasn't been completely laid yet. If we resist until the bitter end, they fear the forces opposing the current president won't hesitate to aid their enemies. Hence, their big shots want this matter settled as quickly as possible, too. So we might still have enough leeway to get them to mitigate their terms if it'll lead to a quick settlement. Either way, are we still looking at a crazy sum of money? You need to be prepared for that. Even that would be much cheaper than paying punitive damages. Thank you very much, sir. Please contact me if anything new happens. We're paying you the big bucks, so no idle chit-chat. Ha ha ha. Thank you, goodbye. Rudolph hung up the phone. The executive sitting in the reception seat seemed to have guessed at the contents of that discussion. You guys hear that? Simply put, they'll forgive us if we can pile up enough money. Now all we gotta do is haggle over the amount of that money. But President, the likely son for that settlement Mr. Watanabe indicated is too much. We don't have that much of a margin. If we'd known this would have happened, we would have never started diversifying. The calculations were that we could escape a capital crisis if we managed to endure for 3 years. To think we'd be stabbed at a time like this. How bad can our luck get? I guess we fell at the step of the hop, step, and jump. It's enough to make you cry. We have no choice but to draw the money from the main bank. Banks are no good. They only bet their money on winners. Their economy's improving, but we can't show weakness to the banks. President, do we have access to any funds that are unaccounted for? Funds we are unaware of? Quit it. Do I look like that kind of man? The contents of my wallet are totally exposed to you guys, okay? The account books over there show all our company has. In that case, we need to raise money. We need a sponsor who can draw in several millions for us as soon as possible. President? Couldn't something be worked out with one of your personal connections? President! President! Oh, calm down, you bastards. Let me worry about raising the money. You guys just keep the business running without making too much noise. Our accusers are saying they'll let us be if we can show them the money. We've already got thick pipelines in Asia. These will probably be shaky, but we'll be able to maintain our current deals. Basically, if we could just bring the money together, we'll be able to solve all our problems. Just you watch. I'll fix all of this. As they say, $6,000 isn't a lot to have in the bank, but it's a lot to owe the bank. I do appreciate that they're adding this extra dimension to the stuff that was happening within the Ushinomiya family and the kids wanting the inheritance money. Because, I mean, in Chapter 1, it just plays as them being, like, irresponsible business people and, like, they just hate their father and they're like, oh, we could just turn him into a cash cow, it's fine. But at least in Rudolph's case, he's like, look, like, I'm trying to save our company. Like, they're just having... Everyone in this family is just having some major bad luck right now. Just you watch. I'll fix all of this. I won't leave you out in the cold. Time to start getting your hopes up again. Once this is all behind us, I'll be rewarding all of you guys with a champagne tower. I promise you that. Maybe you would have thicker margins if you guys didn't do the champagne tower, you know? So shut up and follow me. Got it? The airplane suddenly shook, probably due to turbulence. Oh, poor Battler. Rudolph was jostled awake. He'd woken early that morning and ended up drifting off to sleep while resting in his seat. You okay? Are you sure you aren't still pretty sleepy? After all, it seems you've been really busy with work lately. Being busy with work is nothing to complain about, right? Once I've got nothing left to do, it won't be long before we're out in the cold. Huh, good point. Now that even Battler comes back, we'd be looking at worse than just the two of us going around begging. Yeah. Our family's all together again for the first time in 6 years. So the leader of our family's gotta give it his best if we want to spend some time alone together. When he looked out the window, he saw that the airplane had already started to drop in altitude considerably. The fishing boats, which had only looked like black grains a short while ago, were starting to become clearly recognizable. If I could prostrate myself before Father and get 10 million yen every time he slugged me, I'd do it a dozen times. Or maybe he could just go and die already. I've always depended heavily on his financial support, and now I'm after his inheritance. I'm headed straight to hell. Can hardly complain if Father doesn't want to meet the man I've become. Well, at least you have some guilt. Like, that's something. I don't think Kraus has, like, a single shred of guilt or dignity. At least he's honest. At least he's honest, yeah. Rudolph is a great example of, nobody is perfect. Like, you can do some, morally reprehensible things, but still be an overall decent person. Like, he at least seems to be, a decent boss. And, an okay, like, he seems to be a family man. Like, Battler gets the short end of the stick. But he seems to at least try and do right by, his family. And I mean, for someone who's really wealthy, having your son, leave the family would be really, really embarrassing. Like, I'm sure Kinzo roasted Rudolph for, like, Battler leaving. But, like, the fact Rudolph let it happen means, like, he cared more about, Battler's, feelings than, like, you know, his image, basically. Because, it's very, very difficult for, like, an extended family member to get, any kind of custody rights over a child if a biological parent is still around. So it's like, if I'm sure if Rudolph fought for it, like, he could have dragged Battler back. Like, I don't know where... I don't remember if they've explained where Balor has been for 6 years, but I assume he's with his biological mother's family or something. He knows it's scummy, but people rely on him. Yeah, and I mean... begging your dad for money and trying to figure out how to get the inheritance early is scummy, but at least it's not, like, illegal. It's not like he took the shotgun and shot Kinzo in his sleep to get the money or something like that. At least not in this timeline. Who knows what's gonna happen? Could it be that you, once again, do not plan on making an appearance at the family conference? Nanjo looked at Kinzo's face, sighing. Kinzo's eyes remained rooted to a strange book on magic. I have no intention of joining those vultures in their debate. They can discuss how they'll suck my bones dry on their own. How utterly contemptible. Yeah, well, you kind of treated them like shit all their lives, so this is your fault. You cannot demand respect, you must earn respect. Any respect you get from demanding it is just fear. My, how troublesome. Nanjo shook his head slightly. To him, children and grandchildren were lovely things. He believed watching them grow was the only way to truly enjoy old age. So Kinzo's words were very saddening to Nanjo. If the time comes for me to leave this room, I will show myself. Just as she does not show herself yet. When Kinzo raised his face, his gaze pointed at the portrait of the witch, which was respectfully displayed on the wall. Kinzo's mind didn't dwell for a moment on the fact that today was the family conference, where all of his beloved relatives would gather. It was filled only by the face of the witch in the oil painting, who never smiled, except inside the portrait. But everybody knew that interrupting Kinzo when he talked about Beatrice would trigger his wrath. Today, I will hold a certain ceremony. Great. Sacrifice, sacrifice. Oh? And what might that be? Perhaps it is closer to a gamble than a ceremony. After all, magic without risk can never house a miracle. Nanjo had heard Kinzo say this many times before. Break out absinthe? Yeah, it's time to drink. You might even call it a pet phrase of Kinzo's. Kinzo apparently believed that magic and miracles would occur if you gambled your own fate with a certain amount of risk. I wonder what sort of gamble you're making. As the man who was once called the Golden Gambler, and who's now so old he might pass on at any time, this should be well worth watching. That is a crazy thing to say to someone, but alright. Like, yeah, you used to be a pretty heavy gambler, and now you're so old you could keel over at any time, so like, I'm just gonna break out the popcorn. The description makes it seem like Kinzo is just holding on for dear life, right? What else is there to do but humor him? I guess. I mean, Nanjo has told him many times to stop drinking and all that stuff, and Kinzo's like, no, F you. Maybe Nanjo's feeling a little passive-aggressive. I see. So the secret ritual I have developed after much research appears to be nothing more than a gamble to one unversed in magic such as you. You did say it was basically more of a gamble than a ceremony. Why are you acting like he's twisting your words when he's basically repeating you? Very well. If I have faith in miracles and win, you will see clearly on this day that all my research did bear fruit, despite it seeming to be a little more than a product of my eccentricity. If you win, it will all end just as you have already seen, as nothing more than the eccentricity of an old man who might leave this world at any time. Ho? Just what sort of gamble could you be planning to take? As your friend, that bet, or ceremony as you called it. I can only pray most sincerely that you achieve victory in it. Oh, don't say that. You're gonna die if he achieves it. Nanjo, it's not a good thing! Yes, I thank you. Speaking of which, Kinzo-san, have you heard that a much longed for guest will be present at the family conference this year? What? For once, Kinzo reacted to Nanjo's words and turned around. That's right, Battler-kun from Rudolph-san's family. I hear he'll be coming after an absence of 6 years. I'm sure he's become a splendid boy. Oh, Battler. I wouldn't call him longed for. I guess who's failed to show up for a mere 6 years. After hearing Battler's name and making a disappointed and ill-humored expression, Kinzo turned his back again. Kinzo literally thought Nanjo was like, oh yeah, Beatrice said she's coming. I imagine those 6 years went by in a flash for you, considering how you've immersed yourself in your research in this room. However, you might actually receive a visit from a truly longed-for guest. If you say so. Everything depends on the results of this roulette. The roulette has already started to spin. Will it be rouge or noir? Tonight, let us enjoy ourselves as we see what kind of miracle the roulette will show us. The payoffs are large, and I don't intend to lose. Dun, 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 dun. Beatrice, accept my bet. At that time, the telephone on the table rang. The piercing sound seemed to irritate Kinzo, and he picked up the receiver to preserve the silence as much as he could. What is it? I'm busy. Genji speaking. Everyone has arrived. What of it? Just serve them some tea or something. Certainly. I will do so. Kinzo hung up the phone rudely. Looking at that, Nanjo sighed yet again and shifted his attention outside the window. As he is now, I doubt Kinzo would pay any heed to any sort of guest. Could any guest possibly make Kinzo come out when the time comes, as he said? Beatrice. It's just Bia. Only Bia. Kinzo had a single person in mind. But that was a guest who certainly wouldn't appear. Nanjo stared at the witch of the portrait with her impassive expression, unable to decide whether she was smiling or sad, and then gazed up at the lead-colored sky. Well, well, well. I wonder if they could hire an actor. Oh my god. That would be insane. Welcome back to Rokenjima. We do hope you enjoy your stay and also survive. Was the achievement I just got, excuse me? So, are all the pieces in place? Shall we line them all up again and start a new game? Any objections from you? Nope. None. Oh gee, Spatler. What's happening? The witch looked at him challengingly while elegantly smoking her pipe. And Battler? He just really shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care what she did. He didn't meet her eyes. But that didn't mean he did intend to challenge her. It showed by his clear determination to never be taken in by this bastard's tricks. It was an expression of his determination to fight. New OST track! Don't tell me you're jumping into this without a plan. I don't even know how you'll make your first move, so I've got no plans or anything. Go ahead and move first. Naturally, I'll do so. How shall I break your defenses? How many moves will it take to checkmate you? This is where you'll see me at my finest. No matter what moves you come at me with, I won't believe in you. As long as I stand my ground on that point, I won't lose. And that means this game's built in a way that makes it impossible for you to win. Perhaps you're right. However, I'm the one who decides how many times we'll hold this game. We'll repeat it over and over again until I win and you acknowledge your defeat. See? In other words, this is torture. An eternal torture that shall continue until you surrender to me. It shall go on endlessly until you acknowledge me and the existence of witches. Then I'll play your game endlessly, as many times as it takes until you run out of patience. I've never lost in a test of stubbornness. Oh, did a certain witch plant that idea in your head? Very well. I'm tired of listening to you ramble. Come on, get this started. Then let us begin. I already know all of your moves. A defense doesn't amount to much if the plan behind it is known. Don't think you'll be able to defy me with the same moves. Beatrice. I've got just one thing to say before we start. What is it? Go ahead and say whatever you want. However, whether I believe in you is something I'll decide for myself. No matter how impressive this magic of yours is, my soul won't yield to you. You think this is torture for me? You're wrong. Then what else could it be? This is torture for you. Someday you'll surrender to me and give up. Until then, you'll be tortured over and over again. How amusing. What an entertaining metaphor. Torture where we torment each other? Yes, truly amusing. Come, shall we begin that torture? Ushido me a battler? We got some crazy chess going on here. Game starts at 1:45. But they were both tops. Someone didn't check their preferences card before matching up with someone. Every year, the relatives visiting Okinjima would let out a sigh of admiration at the rose garden that first greeted them. They would stop there to chat about the roses' beauty and how well they were blooming that year. In the midst of all this, there was a single unhealthy rose, and Maria became overwhelmed with dejection at its condition. That damn rose. Though at this point, the rose is probably a metaphor for Rosa. Like, let's be real. But George used his quick wits and saying that everything would be fine if they took care of this poor thing, marked it with a candy wrapper, and immediately restored Maria's good mood. Interesting, right? I mean, it's right there in the name, and we had all this stuff about, like, Rosa being, like, possessed by the bad witch and, like, all that stuff, so seeing a rose, like, the one singular rose that is falling apart, you could read it that way. The nice mama? Yeah, that could be it. Like, I don't know if Maria's doing it consciously, but it feels like something Ryukishi would do. Like, just like a very subtle thing. Then Battler, with whom she'd been getting along well since that morning, started talking about Halloween. This was such a favorite topic of Maria's that she began playing around energetically again. What would the whole family be contrastedly? Or what would the other roses be? The other roses would be, what a mother is supposed to be. Something beautiful and gentle and, like, all that stuff. Most of the mother's relationship seems good, though, with their kids. Yeah. Like I said, like, it's a metaphor for Rosa's probably mental state. If we're gonna try and read into it. Because, I mean, if you know someone named after a flower, you will tend to think of them whenever you see those flowers. So if you suddenly see a flower in a really rough shape, you might still think of that person. And it might make you upset to see a flower you associate with someone you care about in a really bad state. And Maria is quite straightforward in that respect, so. To Maria, the marshmallow jack-o'-lantern candy bought by her mother was probably the greatest sort of treasure. They seemed to have bought several, and she demanded a trick-or-treat from every person she met, giving them candy instead of the other way around. I wonder why Maria likes Halloween so much. I always figured it was a pretty unfamiliar event for the Japanese. Well, it's a kids' festival where they get to parade around in costumes, right? It could be fun to play around in an outfit that's different than usual. I think there's a slightly deeper cause behind it. After all, she is the witch Maria-chan. Come to think of it, when we were at the airport, didn't Maria say that if she was gonna wear a costume, it'd be a witch? Does she like witches? Yes, she loves them. So much that it's become a problem. Hey, it's not so bad. Oh, Jessica. You expect kids at that age to love fantastical stuff like that. If it was just a heroine or on some TV anime, at least it'd be cute. Judging by Rose's appearance, she wasn't very happy about her daughter's love for witches as a mother. The cousins other than Badler seemed to realize this, and they shrugged, wearing stiff smiles. So you're arguing that because she likes witches, she also likes Halloween? If we don't know, why don't we just ask her? Hey, Maria! How are Halloween and witches related? As Badler asked that, George and Jessica let out a stifled ah, as if they were trying to stop him, but too late. Maria might have been waiting for just that question. Oh, God. It's so early for this girl. Oh, no. After beaming for an instant, her expression turned a little mean, as if to say, "You're totally clueless, aren't you?" It was the face of a hobbyist who's been ticked off by an outsider saying something stupid about their favorite subject. Ugh. To the Celts, the changing strength of the sun over the course of a year signified its birth, its growing up period, its aging and death, and then its revival. Okay, I get it. In spring, the weak, warm sun starts to grow up and get hot, and then it gradually gets weaker and worn out. Sort of makes sense to think of it as the sun living out an entire life. Yes. So they thought that at the end of October, the sun died and was laid to rest in the land of the dead, and was then revived at the winter solstice. And the name they gave to the last day of their year, when the sun ended its 1-year lifespan and died, was Samhain, and they celebrated then. It's an interesting idea to think that the sun is revived on the day of the winter solstice, when the daylight hours start to grow longer again. We're getting some Celtic traditions background. It's a case that makes it clear how much the ancients regarded the sun as sacred. I see. So what does that have to do with witches? It seemed that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria. She glared at me with eyes that told me to shut up while she explained. Oh, okay, thanks. Maria seemed to be having a blast as she talked, so I decided not to interrupt. You got trippy! That 4-leaf clover was real! Nice! Iduna also got... Iduna got fainted in her first temple. And she's like, "Duty, your 4-leaf clover potion worked." I'm like, God damn. And here I just thought it was 95% a placebo effect. I guess my magic's getting stronger if y'all are actually getting these potions and getting results. Now you go for E1, but Saber's coming. Saber's coming in like 5 days. Bro was like, I'm not gonna spend any money. I'm not gonna pull anything in Star Rail because Saber's coming, and you know, that's my waifu, and meanwhile he's gotten broke several times over. In the interval between October and November, life and death become the closest they ever will. The Celts believed that during this time, the world of the living grew closer to the world of the dead and other worldly beings. Bro, I need Tribby for cast. No, you don't. I don't have Tribby. And I still managed to, 36-star all of, like, the endgame content in Star Rail. I just use, Remembrance Trailblazer and Neon May. If you want Tribby for a cast, that's one thing, but you don't need her. That's just you making weak justifications. Now I need millions of damage? You can't get millions of damage. Not outside a simulated universe. This isn't Genshin. $30K, and how much time have you put into getting substats? Did you max out all the talents? There's lots of things you can do before, like, you have to start gacha-ing to increase your damage output. I'm just saying. Stop bullying me? You said some pretty wild shit to me in the Discord. I think I'm allowed. I think I'm allowed to take one pot shot at you. The Celts believed that during this time, the world of the living grew closer to the world of the dead. And otherworldly beings, and many of those living in the other... That wasn't what? It's kind of hard to interpret you replying to me saying, like, what are you, a slave seller, as anything other than what the fuck. For context, all I was saying is does it take much more work to use $30 conditioner compared to $5 conditioner? Yeah, huh? That was literally my reaction, too. So yes, Sexu, I'm gonna take pot shots at you. It's like the Bon Festival in Japan. At the time, people believed that souls returning to the physical world would go into people's houses or possess people and do bad things. So in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. Okay, fair? Yeah. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters that scale the souls back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed. Imagine the dead being scared of the dead. Halloween concept is kind of wild. That part became a festival which turned into a costume parade. You really know a lot, don't you, Maria? Ain't it the truth? Even I never knew Halloween had such a history. But where did that whole trick-or-treat thing come from? A great question. I'm sure Maria would like to fill you in. Her knowledge was so extensive that the adults had suddenly started listening in too. Maria, who was normally treated like the youngest all the time, puffed out her chest with pride. Saying that this was just a kids' discussion, Rosa suggested that adults go on ahead and set their luggage down in the guest house. Shot in the dark? Candy companies. I'm trying to remember. Because I did know this at some point. But I mean... Candy is already associated with other holidays associated with the dead. Like in Dia de las Muertes, there's the skull candies. So it's not that unusual to think trick-or-treating came from, you know, giving offerings to the spirits. But nobody else agreed to go with her, and she let out a heavy sigh. Just chill, Rosa. Everyone's connecting with your daughter better than you are. Just relax. Oh no! Sorry, my hair clip broke. I just realized it. No! Aw, I really liked this one. Oh well. Oh, did I fix it? I think I fixed it. Okay, stop playing with it, Diana. Are my pupils heart-shaped? No, they're diamonds. There is a toggle to make them heart-shaped, but I feel like that's too, that's not my brand. Apparently, it's also part of the Celtic tradition to appease spirits with food. Ah! That makes sense. That makes sense. So, yeah. I figured it had to do with offerings. Probably how my eyes looked almost closed. Then fair enough. Trick-or-treat is just for fun. It has nothing to do with what was originally a Celtic ceremony. You liar! That was created later when Christian customs were mixed in. However, I think it's right for Halloween to be that way. Okay, sure, whatever, Maria. Press F to doubt. The souls of the dead weren't the only ones who visited from the non-human world. There were also spirits with intimate connections to people's everyday lives. Humans could receive favors from those spirits, so they'd manage to gain magnificent blessings. Originally the same or gone mixed when Rome was doing Roman things? True. I mean, at this point, it's like potato. Because that was so long ago. And it's not like there's probably a lot of records about it. So, like he said, she said, basically. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Trying to prove it would be difficult. Especially since Rome tended to assimilate a whole bunch of stuff from the cultures that they conquered. And like vice versa. So it's like, did they introduce it to the Celts or did the Celts introduce it to them? Humans could receive favors from those spirits, so they'd manage to gain magnificent blessings as well as a year's worth of good crops. So basically, Halloween was also a bit of a harvest festival? Oh, I get it. Now that you mention it, I guess October's a turning point in all kinds of ways, including with the seasons. Sort of the opposite of April in Japan. Yeah, that might be a good place to mark it. Ugh. And also, the witches hold an assembly then called a Sabbath. Ah, yes, Sabbath. The witches thank the spirits that give out blessings of prosperity and reward them. Halloween costumes imitate the guests that come from the other side. In other words, you might say giving out candy is a way to show gratitude for the yearly harvest. Just like George Oni-chan says. Thank you, Oni-chan. You've saved the day yet again. So, Halloween is a time when those two worlds intermingle? In other words, it's the most important chance for witches to intermingle with guests from that world. Is that what you're trying to say, Tuskaru? Tuskaru. Ugh. Just like Battler says. And you know what? You know what? October is when the power of witches and demons is at its most vigorous and prosperous. I'm sure Beatrice will come. And then we'll eat marshmallow candies together and she'll bring me to the Golden Land with her. We'll sing magical songs together, learn magic spells together, learn how to draw magic circles together. That's honestly the only way I know to spell it, Tuskaru? Yeah. Tasukaru. Hang on. I'll put it in chat. Because TSKR is an abbreviation of the Japanese word. Because it literally comes from, like, the word for, like, to help. Like, to be helped, to be saved. So you say Tuskaru? Because, like, you know, it's like, oh my god, like, I've been saved by, like, how cute this is. Or, like, I've been saved by, like, hearing my Oshi sneeze. Because it proves that, like, they exist in this world. I'm sorry for my wild comment. It may happen again. I mean, won't. Typo. Okay. The second syllable seemed too short, so you can say su in two ways. You can pronounce the oo, or you cannot pronounce it. A lot of the times, it's said both ways. So you can say tasukaru, or you can say taskaru. Both are technically correct. It's the same way, sometimes you hear them say desu, and sometimes they just say des. Masu, sometimes it's mas. It's just kind of like slurring a little bit. My, isn't that wonderful? Is it more slang? I think it sounds a little more rough if you like don't pronounce the oo, so you'll usually hear, like, you know, anime boys who do it, versus, like, you know, the very proper ladies will be like desu wa. So it sounds a little more rougher, but, like, I mean, in my case, it's just speed. It's just because I'm saying it fast. By the way, Rosa, how old will Maria be this year again? Ava, can you stop roasting your family for like 2 seconds? Maria, that's enough of that. Don't worry about it, Rosa-san. It's a dream all girls have at one time or another. Thank you very much, but Maria has already graduated from that age. Hey, I'm telling you to stop! Rosa scolded Maria, trying to shut her up before her cheery discussion about black magic earned her the snickers of the relatives. Oh? That sounds pretty detailed and impressive. By the way, who is Beatrice again? I know I've heard that name somewhere before. Father had been gone for 6 years and had completely forgotten about the legend of the Rokenjima witch. However, when he said he didn't know Beatrice's name, Maria's once bright mood soured in an instant. When he saw that, Father immediately remembered that it was the name of the witch on this island, but the damage had been done. Until Maria's mood improved, she went on and on about many mystery and fabulous episodes regarding the Golden Witch. That's enough, Maria. Thank you, Battler-kun, for letting her chat with you. Kanon-kun, don't you have work to do? Please leave now. Goda-san, it looks like everyone wants to set down their bags for the time being. No, you're just taking control of the situation. I don't think anyone cares. Sorry, but could you guide everyone to the guest house? Certainly. Well, then everyone, allow me to guide you. Then, if you will excuse me, go to let the relatives, and they began to head towards the guest house. Only person that kind of shamed was Ava, and when is she not? Yeah, it's just... Rosa cares about what people think at the darndest of times. Like, she's embarrassed to be with her family and have someone comment on Maria's maturity. But she's totally chill with slapping the shit out of her child on a platform. And I mean, it's implied that Rosa is embarrassed by that side of herself that loses her temper and goes off. But, I mean, it's still her. It's still... You still have to take consequences for your actions when you have an episode. It just really sucks because, you know, if she is generally having some kind of mental health episode that makes her rage like that, then it just sucks because it's something you don't have control over, but you still have to bear the consequences of. Then it's just unfortunate, but it sucks more for Maria. After watching them leave towards the guest house, Rosa's face changed suddenly. She let go with the hand that had been gripping Maria's this whole time. There was a bright red mark there, making it clear how much excessive force she had been using on Maria's slender arm. The hand then slapped against Maria's head, pinched her left ear, and lifted. Even though I'm always telling you not to talk about witches, haven't I always said that was our promise together? Mama, ouch, mama, ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, and there she goes again. God. Ah, shit, here we go again. You really do like blabbering on about Halloween all the time, don't you? A festival for witches? Who cares about the cow's black magic and all that idiotic trash? You're 9 years old, 9. Because of that scene you made in the train, I went to all the trouble of making a stop and buying you those disgusting monster marshmallows that look like they have fluorescent paint on them. I went out of my way to buy it, even though it made us late. How much more will you embarrass me before you're satisfied? Jesus Christ. Like, don't do it if you're gonna hold it against her. Like, oh my god. As Rosa cursed, she twisted Maria's ear up, almost as though she was about to tear it off. An expression of anguish spread across Maria's face, while she frantically stood on her tiptoes, trying to soften the pain in that ear. Rosa suddenly grabbed the candy that Maria had been holding. Whoa, that is just excessive. She threw it on the ground and stepped on it over and over. To Maria, it was supposed to be proof of a memory of a brief span of time when her mother had bought something fun for her. But now that same mother was grinding it into the ground right in front of her. It was as though a brand had been pushed into Maria's eyes, leaving a mark that could never be erased. So then why buy it? 'Cause everyone was looking at Rosa like she was an evil frickin' monster for beating the shit out of her child in public. So, I don't know. Maybe it sounded like she wanted to make up with her daughter, but maybe she actually doesn't give a shit. Who knows? What's the deal with this disgusting candy? Disgusting, disgusting. It's because you're like that. It's all because you're like that. Okay, girl, we get it. You hate your life. How about you, give up, guarantorship of your daughter and go chase after that boy toy that, like, knocked you up. As she said that, she struck Maria's head over and over again with her palm. She didn't hit Maria's face, because the red swelling would stand out. Ah, yes, she knows exactly what she's doing. Maria closed her eyes tightly, patiently bearing her mother's violence. No, that wasn't quite it. Come back, Mama! Come back, Mama! Save me, Mama! Defeat the bad witch! She kept bearing Rosa's assault, muttering that over and over. Didn't I tell you to stop talking about witches? Rosa, tired from hitting her daughter, breathed so hard her shoulders shook. Maria grasped her hands together, withstanding it, hoping her mother would return soon. Mama, Mama, come back quickly. Save me, Mama. Beat the bad witch. Fine, just stay like that forever. Just stand there mumbling about witches and Halloween forever. After hurling those words at Maria, Rosa left in the direction of the guest house, leaving Maria behind. These scenes really get to me. Yeah. It's like, can sympathize with Rosa because, you know, she's trying to raise a daughter on her own, with a daughter who seems to have some kind of challenges because Maria is quite immature for her age. And then, you know, she always talks about witches, and, like, she does it in a way that really unsettles people. So I can understand some of the frustrations she would, like, you would go through raising a child like that, even if you were in a complete nuclear family household. But then there's the added pressure of what you would go through as a single mother in the 80s, and it's like, I get it. I get it. You're under a lot of stress, but holy shit, man. Like, I'm not condoning abandoning your child, but you could technically just leave her on the island. Like, let the other relatives take her in or something? Or, like, just leave her there. The butlers would take, the staff would technically take care of her. And you can go the F off to, like, America or whatever and chase after the dude that, like, knocked you up and then abandoned you, if, like, that's really all you care about in the world. Maria, forgetting even that it was okay to cry, kept staring down at the jack-o'-lantern candy that had been trampled beyond recognition. Rosa? Where were you? I'm sorry. The roses were so wonderful, Rosa, set your luggage down quickly and come with us. We're gonna go say hi to Aniki. Hmm? What happened to Maria-chan? Is she still by the flower beds? Yes. It seems she found a rose she likes and insisted that she take care of it, refusing to listen. I decided to let her do what she wants for a while. Yeah, sure, take care of the rose. We sometimes forget that girls have their own little world. Sometimes we have to respect that, right? That's right. Thanks for your concern, Kirie-ne-san. Goda-san, where is our room? I will guide you this way. Allow me to hold your luggage. I'll be fine. I can carry it myself, thank you. Rosa went into her room, guided by Goda. She then closed the door somewhat violently and threw her luggage on top of the bed. Damn. She got down on her knees in front of the bed, burying her face in it. For a while, Rosa made as if to shred the sheets with her fingernails, sobbing constantly. I mean, if you're gonna get that upsetty about losing your temper, how about you work on yourself? Maria-sama? Are you alright? Kanon appeared from behind a thicket after watching Rosa leave. I'm fine. Maria gave a creepy laugh. But to Kanon, who had seen the whole thing, it looked like she was enduring as best she could. She's a horrible person. I can't believe she's a mother. It can't be helped. You can't expect anything better than that to enter a container of that level. I'm just fine. Oh, how's your daughter? Can I carry your bags? They all hated me, literally. Like, again, I can understand being upset and frustrated by yourself for losing your temper. But then you gotta work on yourself. Rosa literally goes from, like, 0 to unhinged. Like, unhinged demon mom. Like, not a mental health expert, but as someone who does have bipolar disorder in my family, like, it really does feel like that. Like, this 0 to just absolute destruction feels so familiar because of that. So, girl. And I mean, it's the 80s. So it's not like it's easy to get treatment, but I'm like, oh my god! Please! Because, yeah, it's just... very serious mental health is so destructive, but, like, for me, since, like, I've seen bipolar disorder, it's like, oh god. Like, in particular, it can just get so destructive. It's like, someone help these poor women. Someone help Rosa, because dear God. I feel like, you know, I'm standing at like a train. Like one of those like train intersections, and like the bars have come down. Someone's still on the tracks. And I'm trying to get to the front to like try and like be like yell at the person, and everyone's like pushing me back, like, no. Like, you can't do anything. It's too late. And it's like, it's not too late. We can still do something. It was tragic just looking at it. He thought about dusting it off and returning it to her, but really couldn't do so with it in that condition. This is a private matter? God, literally. Just as he was wondering what to do, he met Maria's gaze. No, that wasn't quite right. Maria was looking at the candy Kanan had picked up. Right now, Maria's heart was surely the same as that candy that had been trampled into her pulp. Kanan realized this, but didn't know what he should do. That's right. I'll exchange it for the one I received earlier. Kanan remembered that a similar candy he'd received from Maria was in his pocket. Maria stuck out her hand. Kanan thought she was trying to take it, so he held out the candy, but Maria didn't try to grasp it. Then Kanan realized. She was saying, "Give it back." No matter how tragic and trampled it was, the candy was Maria's. Her mother had bought it for her. No matter how tragic, it had to be this candy. And no other. If only it were intact enough that it could be fixed by dusting it off. Kanan hung his head. Dusting it off is the most I can do. I'm sorry. Kanan held out the miserable-looking candy Maria wanted. She took it and spoke. Thank you. A human can't do anything except dust it off, but a witch could restore it to how it once was. It would be easy for Beatrice. Maria-sama? You know about Beatrice-sama? Unfortunately, she sure does. Except for Badler, there was no way anyone related to the Ushiromiya family could have failed to know Beatrice's name. But just now, Maria had bragged about Beatrice to Badler. She had spoken almost as though she was meeting with Beatrice regularly. Kanan felt a sharp pain inside his left hand, which was curled into her fist. In the past, a witch called Beatrice had appeared to tempt him and Shannon. He'd always tried to think of it as a bad dream. However, Shannon insisted that it definitely was a real witch. And then, this summer, the shrine to the local Shinto god was hit by lightning, disappearing without a trace over the span of a single night. He knew about Shannon breaking that mirror, and he remembered that, as the witch departed, she said she'd eventually be revived. And now, this girl who believed absolutely in Beatrice spoke as though she'd met Beatrice herself. Kanan couldn't suppress a vague sense of foreboding welling up in his heart. For a while, Maria remained silent, as though she could see into Kanan's heart. Almost as though she was waiting for a memory of Beatrice to be revived. And then she spoke, as though it was fact. You know, I'm friends with Beatrice. I'm even gonna meet her today and play. You're going to play? Yeah, of course we'll play. We're gonna study magic together. The face of that witch, who Kanan had tried to pretend was a bad dream, began to slowly creep into the back of his mind. Father says he's extremely busy with his research. Unfortunately, it seems he'll be unable to come down. Come on. We've put this conference in our schedules to come all the way to Rokenjima during this crazy busy fall season. You'd think Dad could be at least a bit more sociable. Yeah, seriously, this actually is very interesting. Welcome to UMINEKO. It is fantastic. This is chapter 2. Most of chapter 1 is up on my YouTube now, if you want to catch up. I think I'm just like, the last few episodes of Chapter 1 should be getting posted in the next week or so. Dr. Nanjo, is it really his research and his mood that are the problem? He isn't already bedridden, unable to get up, right? No, unfortunately, that is not the case. He is just... That's just a jerk. Just a big jerk. Well, I wonder, doctor-patient confidentiality? There is not much I can say, Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi. It seemed he thought it wasn't his place to speak without first getting Natsuhi's approval. Father's state of health is better than ever. It would be exceedingly rude to call him bedridden. But he only has 3 months left to live, right? It's so easy to forget that they, actually put a number on how long he has left to live, but this was, a year ago. Bro's staying alive out of just sheer spite at this point. Normally, wouldn't you expect him to be wasted away, unable to get out of bed? No, apparently he's just gonna have a heart attack. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo? It ain't spite, it's magic? It can be a little bit of both. It can be a little bit of column A and column B. As Beatrice says, he has no aptitude for magic, so it can't be his magic anyway. For a normal patient, that would probably be the case, but Kinzo-san has extraordinary willpower. Perhaps that willpower has frightened even the Reaper away. It's so true what they say. The elderly and even animals that are sick, as long as they still have will, they tend to outlast much longer than you would expect. It's when, it gets to the point that, they can't do anything, they can't enjoy anything they used to love. That's when, they finally... I think the confidentiality would shift to next of kin if he were infirm. Yes and no. Is he so infirm that he can't consent? That's what would trigger it. And even then, power of attorney would have to be in place to some extent. So it would only actually apply to Klaus as probably the eldest son who probably has power of attorney. Because, you can be wasting away in bed. As long as you can still talk or write, you can still consent. The only way you'd be able to overrule that as, a child is to argue that they're no longer mentally fit. But that would have to be proven. But that's why they say, if you have, a parent who is going through, dementia to, get, power of attorney stuff set up, ASAP, while they're still alive and able to consent and stuff like that, there's not much you can do. But it can take so long to get that stuff in place that you don't want to be trying to do it when they can no longer consent. Because once they can't consent, you can't set up power of attorney. It's literally illegal, because then it's, fraud and abuse. So then what happens? You pray to God, basically. Whatever was in, their do not resuscitate or resuscitate, papers. Just have to go with that. I could see him naming Genji just to spite the kids. I mean, yeah. From my understanding, power of attorney, does it have to be... does it have to be a blood relative? As long as, like, you know, everything is properly in place, then it doesn't matter. Parents gave you clear-cut instructions and have it in their will? Yeah, mine do as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it could be anyone. But yeah. Because, like, you know, I'm too young to have that stuff set up, but at the same time, it's never terrible to think about it. Because I don't live in the same town as any of my family. So I'm like, at some point I switched my emergency contacts to be Iduna and her partner. Because I've known them for like 15 plus years, and I'm like, okay, well, yes, next of kin would technically be my parents, but you know, if, like, you know, I have some kind of emergency, I get rushed to the hospital, and they need to call someone to, like, come, like, you know, grab my stuff or, like, whatever, it should be someone who lives in the same city as you know? So I asked her, Iduna's like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can put me down. So it's like Iduna and then my parents, basically. Because, yeah, without power of attorney or anything, Iduna wouldn't be able to make, like, a medical decision on my behalf. That would still go to my parents as, like, you know, my direct next of kin. But, like, you know, if I, like, break my leg at work and they're like, yeah, Diana broke her leg, she's going to the hospital, it'd be Iduna they call. You just know he wants to put Beatrice on the will, surnameless Beatrice. Just Beatrice the Golden Witch. Whatever. Well, if he's that energetic, I guess we have little to worry about for the near future, right? I guess? Though, if he's got that much spunk, I wish he'd at least come to greet us. Isn't the whole point of this family conference to come and see Dad's face? Definitely would be, like, one part of it anyway. I'm not even sure why we came now. Don't say that. If he were here, you'd complain the whole time about being unable to relax. Shouldn't we celebrate the fact that all of us siblings have gathered this year to spend some time alone? Do you really want to spend time with Kraus, though? Like, for serious? We didn't get to see him at last year's family conference either, right? Can't you understand why his blood children might want to see him after 2 years? If there's anything you'd like to say in greeting, I will tell him for you. Or, Ava-san, is there something you'd like to discuss with the father beyond merely greeting him? Come on, what are you talking about? Sheesh! Give it a rest, Ava. Natsuhi-san, forgive us. Ava's just worried about father's condition as his daughter. Please try and understand how she feels. Give me 1 sec. It's getting kind of warm in the streaming room, so even though we're ending, like, in the next half an hour or so, I want to turn on my fan. So 1 sec. There we go. I can just reach over in my chair and hit the button. Ah, that's a nice breeze. I don't have them already. It's been surprisingly cool here for the past little bit because we've been having a lot of storms. So, like, there's been humidity, sure, but indoors it's been mostly cool. But, sometimes it feels harder than during the day, yeah, because you're not distracted by other stuff, and that's why it can often feel hotter at night. But yeah, when I just sit in front of the PC on its own, that's fine. But, you know, when I'm streaming, I've got the streamer phone in front of me with, like, VTube Studio, and, like, I put my hand on it. It's hot. Like, it is literally hot, and that's right in front of my face. The microphone also will generate some heat. That's also right in front of my face. The headphones are on my ears and my head, so that's, like, you know, that, it's an electronic, it generates heat, but it's also on my head. So all that stuff adds up to being like, you know, I didn't need the fan on during the day. But with all this electronic stuff around me, yes, I need it now. That's why sometimes, like, when it gets really, really hot during the summer, like when it's peak summertime heat, I end up switching to, using my webcam for tracking instead of my phone, because the phone has better tracking, but it casts more heat versus the webcam. Because yes, and sometimes during the summer, like, I have the headphones plugged in, but like half the stream I'm not even wearing the headphones because it's like it's too hot to have something over my ears. First world problems, huh? Indeed. Look how quickly you've grown to respect Father now that you know how much longer he has left to live. Yes, I believe I do understand. In a way, yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, sure, it's hot everywhere in the world. Just get a cooling fan for your phone? I had one. It broke. I went to plug it in recently and the fan won't turn, so I need to get a new one. It only lasted like 6 months. Rip-a-rooney. Dang. Cheap-ass stuff on Amazon breaks like cheap-ass shit you bought off Amazon. Who would have figured? Imagine it overheated? It very well could have. Use those for long gaming sessions on your mobile? Yeah. I mean, even just playing, Nike for like 30 minutes, I feel my phone starting to overheat in my hand, and I'm like, Jesus. It's like, these games are developed for mobile. I'm like, yeah, mobile what? Mobile fire hazard? What are you trying to say? Quit it, Anarchy. Why don't we pray that his mood will improve by dinner? Anyway, we've only just arrived. Mobile emulators, maybe, right? Like, I like to keep some stuff on my phone. So I have, like, you know, when I'm at the counter at the apothecary, I have some stuff to do if it's slow. But, like, 95% of the stuff is on my PC, because it's, like, my PC at least doesn't go thermonuclear. Been playing Uma Musume on your phone? Yes, some games are really well optimized that it's not an issue. Others, it definitely is. I mean, Games, who makes Uma Musume, has been around for so long, I'm sure they know how to find the balance between, getting decent graphics for their game and not, you know, making the device burst into flames. Because, yeah, it's specific games. Because I also have Girls Frontline on my phone. And, I mean, it gets a little warm if I've been playing it for a long time. But, like, Nikke, it's, like, within 10 minutes. And it's like, okay, I know Nikke has, like, really nice graphics, but it's like, can we not, you know, burn my fingers with this game? Thank you. Like, I not usually keep it on a phone stand, especially since a lot of stuff is full auto, but I'm like, this can't be good for the phone. Anyway, we've only just arrived. For now, we're only here for a casual greeting. And we could even hold the family conference without Dad, like we have done, in previous years. In fact, there's a few things we siblings shouldn't bring to him until we formed a unified opinion. Isn't that right, Hideyoshi Nissan? Yup. I saw that they're adding a flight attendant character. Yeah, they, Oh, I haven't played in the past week because I've been busy. But, they just did a collaboration with, Stellar Blade. Because it's the same company that makes Nikke that made Stellar Blade. But yeah, there's the flight attendant. They already have some characters in the game that are like train conductors. There's so many factions. There's like so many different like looks to all these girls. And then there's, you know, the commander. There's the player character and his dirty brown-ass military uniform. With his, you know, standard anime boy short brown hair. Most basic ass looking protagonist in the world. I mean, at least the commander in the game has his personality's decent from like what I've gathered as I've been playing it, but it's like sometimes it's like, oh my god. Cause then you have like, you know, Girls Frontline, where it's like, yeah, they actually really went out of their way to diversify how the commanders, like the major/commanders look. Show how he's built like a wall. Oh no. The commander is built like a twig. He is literally like 15-year-old anime boy figure. The commanders in Nikke, they don't do shit all. They don't even carry guns. They are just there to shout orders like a frickin' meat sack. There's one in the story recently who actually, it's another commander. He grabbed the main character commander by the throat and threw him out a window. And I'm like, damn. Like, that is... But a man in this game actually did something that wasn't cower behind a robot woman. That's crazy. The official moral support, basically, I mean, if the commander's in situations, he does, step in to try and do stuff, but, like, I guess the whole logic is that, conventional weaponry doesn't do anything against, the raptures. which are like the aliens. And so, like, Nikke used, like, extremely high caliber weapons and stuff. And so, like, he tried to use one once because he had no choice, and he broke his leg from, like, the recoil. So, like, you know, he at least tried to help. He tried to do his bit instead of just, like, you know, running for the hills. But yeah, essentially useless. This is the only time of year we can all meet in person. We've got to take this valuable time seriously and be frank with each other. Whatever you say. Dane, yeah, like, it's easy to forget. Like, I'm sure there are, like, ecchi, like, R18 comics of the Nikke people. But in my brain, I'm like, why? Because Nikke, it's, like, official that they weigh, like, tons. Like, not just, like, oh, ha, like, they weigh, like, you know, 150 pounds. No, like, a metric ton. Like, there's literally situations where they're like, we can't go and rescue this person because the ground is breaking, and if we take a step towards them, our weight will make the floor collapse. Like, that is an actual plot point that's come up a few times. So I'm literally like, do you really want to sleep with these girls? Because one wrong move and you are literally, paste. There's crush your head with your thigh, and yeah. Anna smacks the commander on the back. It says, yeah, good job, and he needs to go to the hospital. No, literally. Literally. So it's like, I understand, girls are hot, but I'm like, one wrong move and you dead. That will be the last romantic rendezvous you ever have in your entire life. Make my head into a black hole with their thighs, literally. Just, there would be nothing left. It would just be paste. For adventure! But it's like, yeah, I appreciate that. Like, they're like, oh yeah, you know, these robot girls use very high caliber weaponry, so they have to be, like, heavy to counteract it, but it just makes it funny. Because it's like, oh yeah, like, they're just walking around the base and stuff, and I'm like, if this wasn't the ground floor, what would happen? Like, can we not have a second story in this building without you guys, like, destroying it? Like, what would happen here? The dolls in Girls Frontline, however, from my understanding, they do not weigh several metric tons. They do still weigh a lot, but not quite to that extent. So maybe it would be less, dangerous. Even though the tea hadn't yet arrived, they were very determined. But before that, perhaps we can spare the time to enjoy some black tea at our leisure. Gotta enjoy the tea. Oh my god, that reminded me, was it last week or the week before? I happened to run out of coffee. Because, like, I went to the store, but it was after I got home that I realized I forgot to buy coffee. I'm like, whatever, I have tea. I'll have tea in the morning, it's fine. And, like, so I'm looking in the cabinet and I see, Earl Grey breakfast tea. I'm like, perfect. Black tea. And I was like, I can't tell if this is actually working or, like, what? And then I get home after going my day at the apothecary, and I saw that it was decaffeinated, and I'm like, I woke up with the placebo effect. what was it? I red pilled myself into thinking that the tea was waking me up. Which is funny because I definitely have like matcha and green tea that does have caffeine. I just happen to reach for the decaffeinated one. If only you could do it on purpose like that, right? If only, huh? But yeah, the whole thing of the placebo effect is you have to very strongly believe it will work. So if you know it's a placebo, less likely. Kirei's words seemed to contain a subtle admonishing directed at everyone gathered there. They all understood, and as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties, the atmosphere in the room did return to normal for a time. Excuse me, I've brought some tea. Hey, Shannon-chan! You just keep getting prettier and prettier. Shannon entered the parlor, pushing the serving cart, and that is about to be your daughter-in-law. If George gets his way. Everyone decided to relax and enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the room. As far as anyone could see, the strained atmosphere from before Shannon's arrival seemed like a lie. Famous last words. Of course, Shannon, who was setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kirie-san seemed to laugh faintly at, how adult everyone was suddenly acting. Rudolph didn't like it when Kirie took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. We were just complimenting you earlier about being a family man, and now you're like, women should be seen, not heard. It was his worthless male pride. Well, at least they admit it's worthless. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man who took advice from his wife. But he kisses the phone receiver in front of all of his executives. I see. So it really was just like a power play. She understood that and did her best to refrain from saying any more than was necessary. Kirie, you don't need to take this. You don't need to listen to him just cause he's a man and you're a woman and you love him. Throw that whole man out. So she separated herself from the circle of siblings who only superficially appeared to be enjoying some time together, and casually drank her tea near the window. Oh, Rosa-san, I thought you siblings were enjoying some alone time. You must be joking. Sorry, don't take it the wrong way. I'm just a little exasperated by my husband. Apparently, Rosa hadn't been able to keep up with that on-the-surface friendliness. They'd come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, each trying to grab a part of the inheritance for themselves. She probably didn't like suddenly pretending that they were all chummy. Or maybe she was still too immature for that. It looks like the wind's starting to blow hard out there. The plants are all shaking so much. The typhoon's probably gotten pretty close already. I wonder if we'll see a lot of rain tonight. Maria-chan really has grown a lot this past year. Does it look that way? She still can't even fold her own clothes yet. And whose fault is that? Like, unless your child has some serious dexterity issues, if they can't fold clothes properly, that's because you didn't teach them properly. Surely the bad witches. Surely. Surely. God. It's sad. It's sad because Rosa, her design is my favorite out of, like, the siblings. Like, I think my favorite overall character designs would be Kanon and Jessica, but I really love Rosa's hair. Like the Hime cut. So I'm like, man, you're so pretty. Why do you suck? Kirie also has a really good look, but the same energy. It's like, man, you're gorgeous. Why are you straight? Why do you like Rudolph? You could do so much better. No, it's true. It's because she has such an affectionate mother. She'll grow into a girl with a rich heart. The hip window cutouts are a bit weird. Oh shit, you're right. I didn't really process it. I thought they were just, like beige colored, like a beige colored pattern. But yeah. You could do so much better. Me? Don't call me out like that. Rosa fell silent. Maybe she was unsure as to what Kirie meant by that. I'm a failure as a mother. Children don't get to choose their parents. That poor girl. Doesn't that go both ways? A parent can't choose what kind of child they have either. Rosa bit her lower lip. This isn't a matter of assigning blame. Isn't it enough that you take your time and watch over her as she grows, conscious of the fact that you'll be living together? You spend every day with Maria-chan, so you probably don't notice the small changes. But the rest of us who haven't seen her for a year can clearly see how much she's grown. I guess that is a good point. Rosa can't see that Maria has been growing up. She can only focus on how much growing up she still has left to do. If you really mean that, thank you very much. Then if you will excuse me. If there is anything you desire, please call for it at any time, especially with her pet peeves, yeah. Shannon bowed politely and left the room. As Hideyoshi and Rudolph, who had a soft spot for women, watched her go, the atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been. If Father can't come down, well, that does still leave us with certain things we can discuss. Right, Rudolph? Yup, that's right. Meow, that's right. We didn't come all the way out here just to drink some dusty tea, right? Wow, rude. Those are expensive-ass tea leaves. How dare you call them dusty? Very well. What is the matter you're clearly so eager to discuss? My. Those people really are determined. They certainly got started quickly. I need to join in too. If I don't assert myself, those people will quickly forget that there are 4 siblings. Sounds like you've got it pretty tough yourself. Maybe I spoke too harshly. Forgive me. No, I don't mind. I'm the one who should be apologizing. As a pair of mothers with daughters, we should talk more often. Every single time we meet, we end up talking about something shady. You can blame the atmosphere in the mansion for that. True, what is her name? Like, we haven't met Rudolph and Kyrie's daughter yet, but I do know she exists. Yeah, she has a daughter. Her name is... Ange? Yes, it's Ange. We haven't met her, but I think they mentioned her briefly in Chapter 1 because she gets sick quite often, and she came down with a cold. So they left her with her grandparents instead of coming to the conference. You can blame the atmosphere in the mansion for that. So yeah, I don't remember how old Ange is, but I assume she's probably close in age to Maria. So yeah, Rosa and Kyrie really should be supporting each other. Because the one who can understand the most the struggles that Rosa is going through right now would be Kyrie. And then Natsuhi could also relate, because I mean Jessica's older now, but she still is quite rebellious. And she would have been a handful when she was younger. But Natsuhi's not one to like get on the phone with like a relative and exchange parenting advice. You love the name Kyrie? It is nice, yeah. I looked at the kanji at some point, because yeah, they spell it weird, but Kyrie, like, it's a little old-fashioned, but it's a very, very normal name. Yeah, it's... So they did show us the kanji in Chapter 1, so it's mist and, like, inlet. So it's like, her name literally means, like, Misty Bay or something like that. Which is, like, that's a nice enough image, really. Like, you see a decent amount of anime characters who are named Kyrie, especially in slightly older stuff. Like, I think the main heroine in Uzumaki, like the Junji Ito Uzumaki, is named Kyrie. Once we start breathing in this air, the mood between us gets so strained. Just once, I'd like to have a nice long cup of tea with you when we aren't attending a family conference. Kotume, it's Kire. It's not Kirie, it's Kire. It's Kirei. Kire, not Kirie. But you did get the Kotomine part right. Yeah, the dude's name is synonymous. Like, the dude's first name is synonymous with the name for pretty. Like, the word for pretty, Kire. Kotomine Kire. There's a wonderful coffee shop in Ginza that's a favorite of mine. Please let me invite you sometime soon. Rejoice Yorokobe Shonen. I'm half expecting him to show up in like the frickin' Fate collab in Honkai Star Rail, because it doesn't feel like Fate without Kotomine around. Even though he's a piece of shit who you don't want anything to do with, it doesn't really feel like a Holy Grail war without Kide around. And technically, they're not supposed to hold a Holy Grail war without a representative from the church there, so thank you, Kirie-san. That sounds great. Oh no, the sky's gotten dark pretty fast. I could almost believe the people in this room made the weather worse. Damn! Weather powers. It's crazy. Nami called. She wants her rod back. There's already thunder. Oh? What is that one there? Huh? There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. The weather seemed to have worsened faster than expected. Just then, a silent thunderbolt struck inside Rosa's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was out in the rose garden. A normal girl would try and go inside if the weather got bad, but Maria was different. She would sometimes get stubborn and refuse to move if rain or even spears fell from the sky. Spears? That's right, I told that child to just stay there doing that forever, didn't I? Oh no, Maria! Everyone looked back at Rosa when she let out a small scream. What? What is it? I'm sorry, I'm going outside for a second. I'll be right back. What the? Seriously, what's going on with her? Don't worry, she'll be back soon. More importantly, shouldn't we begin? Our main topic? That's right. We can keep talking about that without Rosa. Let's return to our discussion. Dun 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 dun. I think that's bit sus, just a bit sus. I think that's probably a good place to stop. We're just about to come up to the hour. And sometimes these scenes can go on forever, so I always try and stop in a place that we can pick up the story without feeling lost. Yahoo! Alrighty. Da-da-da! We'll be back on Sunday with some more UMINEKO. I'm trying to do it twice a week because, I know this is a long visual novel. And I don't want to rush it, but at the same time, it's really interesting. Alright, that is saved. Good reminder about Rosa, some spicy family drama, and God, I miss Badler. Literally! God. It's nice that the different characters are getting to, we're getting different perspectives with the different characters, but oh my God, Badler. Badler, you made everything so much more sane. We'll get more of Badler, once the crowd starts thinning out, but... Alright, so tomorrow is Thursday, and we are gonna be playing some Atelier Yumiya. Well, we'll run around, do some side questing, maybe stumble upon the main plot along the way. That's kind of how we roll in that kind of game. So, anyone interested, I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST for some Atelier. Now, let's see who I can send you guys to. Oh, Joey! Alright, let me just... Thanks for the stream, yeah! Okay, perfect. Our mutual Joey is playing some Kingdom Hearts technically Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. So let us go hang out with Joey. We haven't stopped by Joey in the Crystal Pack in a while. But Kingdom Hearts is always fun. Looks like they're in Agrabah right now. They're just finishing up. Alrighty, so here is Raid. And here is Discord for anyone who wants to keep up when we are not streaming. But for now, that is gonna be it for me. Number 1, I would have to see Sora again to be able to tell if it's 1 or 2. Because I can, to me, it all looks the same. But I know Sora's outfits per game. Oh, it's 2. It's 2. He's in the black. So it's Kingdom Hearts 2. Alrighty, that's gonna be it for me then, guys. So, if it's daytime where you are, have a wonderful rest of your day. And if it's nighttime, have a great rest when you head on off to bed. Until next time, take care of yourself, wash your face, brush your teeth, eat the good food, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye.